Welcome, everyone. My name is Michael Littig. I am the Director of Creator Programming here at Hug, and I am your humble host and moderator today. So thank you for joining our press conference and town hall to learn more about .art Registry's. For the next 15 minutes, you're going to hear from the Hug team. You're going to hear from Randi. You're going to hear from Debbie. We're going to look about where Hug has been and then where it's going. We're going to celebrate and then talk about why we're excited about this .art acquisition. Then we're going to hear from Jeff and Rachel from the .art team. We're going to give you more in detail benefits, what it means to join the .art family. And then, which I'm really excited about, we're going to bring on a panel of artists to discuss why using .art has benefited them. These are people that have used and are been a part of the Hug family for a long time. So I'm really excited to gain their unique perspective as we go through this webinar. And of course, at the very end, I'm going to leave time for question and answer. So as you go through the whole town hall, if you have a question, please drop it in the chat. We'll have folks that are going to be monitoring, that are going to be answering. And at the end, we'll also bring up questions to answer live. And then most importantly, stay tuned because as always, there are going to be some really exciting prizes to be revealed as we go along. That's enough of me talking. I want to bring on my dear friend, my colleague, the co-founder of Hug, to talk about why this is exciting and why she's excited about the future, the one and only Randi Zuckerberg. Randi!
Woo! Thank you so much, Michael, for setting this discussion up today. Wow, it's been a wild and incredible ride. I still remember back to almost 3 years ago when Debbie and I were meeting in Discord, and we were just a few hundred artists with a shared passion and a spreadsheet, just getting the word out about digital artists. Debbie's going to share in a moment some of the incredible stats that we've grown through together. But I really want to thank this incredible community. We have been on the front lines together at the start of the Web3 NFT revolution, at the start of the AI art revolution. And I'm just blown away every day by just how innovative and inclusive and amazing this art community is. So when we had the opportunity to join forces with this incredible team, I think all of us just really viewed it as a real moment and opportunity to really further develop the tools that we've been building and to provide all of the artists with access to just a much larger audience that's deserving of your talents and your time. I know that all of us really share a commitment to digital provenance, to protecting your art and your craft and the nuances that make each artist so unique. And our missions as companies really perfectly aligned. And that was the sense that we got from our very first discussion together. So I'm extremely excited for this next era of how we can empower artists and really turn all of us into successful entrepreneurs in this new global digital community. So I'm excited for what the future holds for all of us. And I can't wait to continue to be an avid collector, supporter, and cheerleader of every single one of you. So thank you, Michael, and thanks to everyone for being here.
Well, on behalf of all of us, Randi, thank you for being a leader and for showing us the way, for leading from the front, and as always, inspiring us. So I appreciate you so much. I'm going to bring up Debbie next. Debbie is now going to share with us a little bit more about where Hug has been and why she's excited about the future. So Debbie, I'm going to hand the floor over to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. And gosh, I am so excited to see so many people joining us from all over the world. I am calling in from Miami, Florida. It's not that sunny today, unfortunately. But we always set up to build a global community. And I love seeing that the people from all over the world. And I think what is really special about the stream too is I know that we have people tuning in live on YouTube, on X, formerly known as Twitter, and also on Instagram, on both of our channels. And this really just feels like such a wonderful celebration in terms of bringing this community together. And I can't wait for what is in store for all of us in this next chapter. But before we do that, I thought it could be really fun to walk down memory lane. Randi and I started working on Hug at the beginning of 2022. So we are kind of nearly 3 years through this incredible journey. For those of you who don't know, I actually met Randi online in a Discord server as a completely semi-anonymous person. And we just really hit it off. You know, we got on a Zoom call like a week later, and honestly, a few weeks later, Hug was born. But if you go to the next slide, our mission at Hug has always been the same from day one. And that really is to empower every single creator to become successful entrepreneurs through what we believe are really important pillars: technology, opportunity, and education. And so, you know, over the past 3 years, let's just kind of take a little look and see how far we've got along that mission. On the next slide, this is just by the numbers. Obviously, if you go into the details, there's so much more to talk about. But, you know, we've grown our community from scratch. You know, we'll go into a little bit more and get more nostalgic in a little bit. But growing from, you know, just the two of us to, you know, over 35,000 verified artists and art lovers from all over the world, 180 countries that are represented. We have distributed over $300,000 of artist grants and scholarships to really make sure that we're supporting creators and furthering their craft. We have had so many different types of educational programs, covered tons of topics, anything from art business to the latest in technology and tools to, you know, help you take your creativity to the next level, and have mentored over 2,500 people directly. I think a lot of you here, if you have participated in a program, you will know Michael very well, and also Amy, who is tuning in as well somewhere. We have placed also over 3,000 creators in all sorts of opportunities all over the world through open calls. And that's just over 300 open calls that we've hosted. And again, we could not have done this, you know, with the help of all of our partners. So I figured we could actually kind of get into the details a little bit and really, you know, look back on where we first started. I know some of you are maybe newer to the Hug community. Some of you have been here right from the very beginning. So let's take a fun little walk down memory lane and celebrate some of the milestones. So like I mentioned, Hug is nearly officially 3 years old. I think Randi and I met in January of 2022. We came together to, you know, officially conceive the name Hug that was really born out of how warm and positive and fun-loving Randi is. If any one of you has ever had the good fortune of meeting her in real life and seeing her smile, you know that she would greet you with a warm hug. And that was exactly what we wanted to channel in terms of building a community that's really warm, really open, and really inclusive. And so we were born really pretty small. We had two companies, I guess, two creative projects that we were mentoring. Michael was there right from the very beginning as well. They were called Boss Beauties and Curious Addies. Both of them have gone on to do great things. Boss Beauties has had an amazing collaboration with Mattel around the Barbie movie. And, you know, Curious Addies is also, you know, responsible for educating a lot of people into entering, you know, the blockchain industry and crypto in general. And, you know, we kind of didn't want to stop there. So we thought that this was a great opportunity for us to grow our community. So we officially opened it up. We started putting together a community curated database of creators. We felt like this was a space that was so noisy. It was so hard to find connections. I know this was also when we were still starting to emerge out of the pandemic in a little way. And I think we were still all trying to find our footing a little bit. And for those of you who are fortunate to know Laura, our head curator, she was there right from the very beginning as well. This database that we speak of was none other than a Notion page. And we really painstakingly had people filling in Google Forms and recommending artists that we each felt that everybody deserved to know. And during this entire process, really putting an emphasis on spotlighting people from, underrepresented communities. It was really important to us that we made sure that everyone had the platform to shine. As we kind of move on further through the year, we, officially kind of gave membership tokens to our community. We also expanded the people that we mentored to not just the US, but people in Japan and Korea as well. And, in just a few short months, we were nominated for 2 awards at NFT NYC. We held our first in-person events, mentored even more creators. And then finally, that Notion database ended up becoming the hug.xyz, which, I know looks extremely different from what you see here on screen. But this was really the first iteration that allowed artists and collectors, artists and their fans to connect with each other. From then on, it's just been growth all the way. We acquired another like-minded community known as Meta Angels. We continued nurturing our community and started rewarding active members with art, and really wanted to give all of these amazing creators a platform to be discovered, and just to really align ourselves and having the same kind of community values that we both held dear. So let's move on to 2023. Already that feels like eons ago, but in 2023, we launched something that we're still so really proud of today. And I have to shout out Michael for this, his original idea of creating a weekly educational newsletter for our creative community. That newsletter is called Creator Royalties. It was named by our marketing manager on our team, Tina. We've put out, I think 70, 80 different issues on all sorts of different topics. Anything that ranges from how do you apply for artist grants and residencies? How do you submit to open calls? How do you price your artwork? Or if you're a little bit more on the cutting edge, what are dynamic NFTs? What are burning NFTs? What is generative art? How can I use technology to really take my art to the next level? And this has been such a great experience for us, not just because we had the opportunity of really educating our community, but we were really learning alongside each and every one of you. A lot of these issues were written by various members of our team, including myself, including Michael, including Tina, including a couple of other people who you'll not be hearing from today. But each and every one of us, when we were working on this, it really felt like we were learning, and we were so excited to pass that along to each and every one of you. We then started building more comprehensive tooling to hug artist profiles. And then we decided, given the focus on the art, it was time for a rebrand, which is something that can be so nerve-wracking, but we leaned into it. So that would be the Hug brand that you recognize today, and that happened a year and a half ago. We actually held our first in-person art exhibition. It was an open call where we curated artwork from all over the world. And we showcased, it has to be over 30 or 40 different artists in this beautiful gallery space in New York City, right by the water. I still remember it was such a beautiful spring day. And we also celebrated just, a new round of funding at that time, led by just incredible investors that we have been so proud and fortunate to partner with ever since. The second half of 2023, if you move on to the next slide, we have just continued building everything out. As I said, we were really focused on 3 pillars: technology, opportunity, and education. We started building out new commerce features. We worked with the amazing Emma Victoria to deliver the first iteration of the Hug Shop. We had a lot of great fun there. That photo that you see there is a scarf that is imagined from her actual acrylic work. We sourced even more incredible open calls, including one alongside the Medici collection, which is one of the leading digital art collections in the space at Shabir Crossing. We went to the United Nations and a lot more other places. You'll see that a little bit in another slide. And we ended the year with over 10,000 artists. And if you remember in the first slide, that has gone to over 35,000. So, we ended 2023 with 10,000 artists. And again, entered this new year really looking for more ways to uplift the community. 2024, we started off with our first ever Hug 100, a beautiful book. I wish I actually have it outside. I should have brought it here with me so I could show it on screen. But just a beautiful compilation of incredible 100 artists that were curated by jurors from some of the most distinguished art organizations, including the MoMA, Christie's, the Society of Illustrators, ArtNet. These were great curators that went through over 3,000 submissions to pick 100 incredible artists who now have their work in print, courtesy of our publishing partners, the Snap Collective. It's also, fun fact, available at the Danish Royal Library in Copenhagen. So if anybody is there, definitely keep a lookout for it. And then April was our first ever Hug Fest that was led by Tina from our team. Just one of a kind event that I don't even think I've seen anywhere else. It was definitely a squeezy room, but we had so many things going on. We had artist market, we had a digital art exhibition, we had live art performances, tarot readings, screen printing. It was just a true celebration of just showing how joyful art can be. It doesn't have to be something that is only reserved for, a few people. And, a couple of the artists that you'll be hearing from later today as well. We were fortunate to make that connection at the Hug Fest as well. And so, we loved that event, and it was just amazing to bring so many people into the same room that just, were really here for the art. And along the way, not just June, but I just wanted to call out just some incredible brand partnerships that we worked on, including folks like L'Oreal, including flying student artists to LA, and being inspiring other hair colorists with their art creations, the Tony Awards even, and Stability AI to really demystify what generative AI can be and how it can be one of many tools and not something that you absolutely have to use, but something that maybe you could be open to in terms of incorporating into your practice. As the year has gone on to the next slide, the second half, we've again been really doubling down on the tools that we've built. We made our hug shops available to even more artists, really empowering our community to bring their creative pursuits to life. One of them that we're really proud of, Leah Ibrahim Sams, with her first ever fashion collection. She started off as a digital illustrator, but as you can see, brought all of her creativity to life as fashion. And, we were really excited to be a part of that. And then we continued to take our art all over the world. We had our hug art and our community go to the United Nations General Assembly in New York City, as well as other United Nations locations around the world, and really speaking about how art can have just such incredible impact. And so that brings us to today, December, where we're joining forces with .art to empower the next generation of artists of all mediums and backgrounds. And I know change is always something that is both exciting and scary. But, it's also something that we feel when we partner with the .art team right from the very beginning of the year. This is just a one-of-a-kind opportunity to take everything that we've done to the next level. So just moving on to the next slide, what you are not going to lose, this is this is just a fraction, honestly, of all of the education that we have put together. If you haven't already checked out the resources page on Hug, that is still very much live. We have a great artist marketing handbook, a pricing guide, many other conversations that you can kind of benefit from. Our Creator Royalties newsletter that I referenced, that's still up as well. If you're new to that publication, please go back and read, all of this great content that is out there living for you to figure out how you can apply that to your craft. And just like today, we're doing another kind of live session. I know it's not necessarily educational in that sense, but again, so many opportunities. And this is something that .art as well has been consistently putting on a lot of great webinars and masterclasses, which some of our artists have also already been participating in. So definitely look out for more of that. On the next slide, again, we are just so proud of all the opportunities that we have brought to our artists. In just, open calls wasn't something that we had right from the very beginning. It's about like an 18-month or so initiative. We've received over 70,000 open call submissions. We have brought work to everywhere from Bali, which I was fortunate enough to see for myself in person, to the Times Square billboard, recently floating on the water in Miami at Art Basel, public art in Taipei, at the backdrop of the Amsterdam dance event with a DJ playing, hotel lobbies in New York City. That the bottom right is public art being showcased in Ghent in Belgium. So just honestly, so many things that I couldn't even rattle off. There's just way too many to name. But, I'm just so grateful for everyone who has been a part of Hug and have, discovered us along the way. And especially if you have been one of the many lucky people that was selected to have your art displayed, I just wanted to say thank you. We are so proud of you. And it is such a huge honor and privilege that we have been able to give you the platform that you really deserve and really get your work out there and recognized. And so next up, technology, which is also going to be kind of the perfect segue onto the next segment. But, we've spent a lot of time over the past couple of years really refining artist profiles. This is one of our Hug artists who have been here from the very beginning, Jack Prettyman. We found ways we always believe in the power of storytelling and being able to showcase one's work. This is what a Hug artist profile looks like now. But as you'll soon come to learn from the .art team, they have been working on some really, really incredible and exciting features that, will eventually kind of make their way into the Hug artist profile and really take their resources and when combined, really superpower this into something that can even better tell your story, even better protect your identity, and, eventually also better monetize your work. And with that, I will just end off, we've always said this at the end of every single presentation. We've always said, if you're here for the art, Hug is here for you. And if you're similarly, none of this has changed. And again, thank you so much for being a part of our journey. I can't wait to, watch along and, obviously continue supporting the .art team as an advisor and really taking this beautiful community to the next level as we enter 2025.
Well, thank you, Debbie. Thank you for your heart, your passion, your leadership, and so much more. We appreciate you so much. And now, first of all, I just want to acknowledge, I hope many of you were able to acknowledge your own growth as you look back on your own journey as an artist over the past 3 years, perhaps as you were looking at that timeline. But as always, it's always important to first look back in order to look forward. And so I want to bring up Rachel and Jeff on the .art team just for a moment, just to introduce themselves, why they're excited about this acquisition. And then we're going to hand it over to Jeff, who's going to give you some more details about the benefits of joining .art.
Thank you, Michael. And just on behalf of Olvi and the entire .art team, it's truly an honor to carry on this amazing journey and tradition that was started by Rachel and Debbie and Michael and Tina and Laura and all of you who are part of this inclusive community. So we're really honored to take over the reins, and our commitment to you is to help the community grow in bigger and better ways going forward. So Rachel, I don't know if you want to say a few words and then I'll get into my presentation.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Suleymanov. I'm the head of content and editorial at .art. I'm based in New York City. I manage our blog at art.art and oversee all of our social media channels where we connect with artists, creatives, and art lovers worldwide. I'm thrilled about this new chapter with Hug. I can't wait to collaborate with this amazing community of artists. It's such an exciting opportunity to grow together and bring even more creative voices into the fold. So I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in the new year and sharing your incredible stories. So yeah, nice to meet you all.
Oh, terrific. Well, thanks, Rachel. Thank you, Michael.
All right, Jeff, we hand it over to you.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There we go. Well, again, I want to really take this time to introduce the Hug community to .art and a little bit of our history and more of the features and opportunities we hope to be bringing to the Hug community. I will start by asking a simple question. What do the actress and painter Sharon Stone, the major gallery Hauser and Wirth, the luxury brand Mercedes-Benz, and performance artist Marina Abramovic all have in common? Well, they all use a .art domain name. They all use .art as part of their brand in different ways. And .art was launched in 2017. We have over 400,000 domain names that have been registered, and our active community is around a little over 260,000 active community of artists. We're very excited about that, but we're more than just the domain name registry. We also, like Hug, provide tools and services for all artists. We really want to help artists grow and succeed. And I know the Hug community is very focused on digital art and Web3, and I'm happy to say that all .art domains are Web3 capable. So you can actually use your .art domain normally and at the same time connect it to a crypto wallet or some other Web3 assets. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And everything we do is to support the art therapy initiative. .art really is a family passion. Olvi Kasimov, the founder of .art, and his family competed against 9 other companies, including some big players in the art and technology world, to get the rights to become the .art Registry. And the family, Olvi has been a collector. He's very well connected in the art world, and the family is extremely creative. The oldest daughter, Medina Kasimova, she's our official .art artist. When Medina was young, she had some issues that led to problems with speech and communication. And at a young age, she demonstrated a talent for art and an interest in art, and the family really encouraged her. And today she's a successful young artist, and she literally found her voice through her art. And that inspiration, that journey has been the inspiration for our art therapy initiative. And this is our charitable mission. So we launched this in 2023 with a commitment of $1 million to fund fellowships and graduate studies in art therapy at George Washington University. And we do a lot of content around spreading awareness and access to the healing powers of art. We believe very strongly. So by joining the .art community, you're helping us promote this very important cause. So we appreciate that very much. We're members of a number of associations. We're active members of the International Council of Museums, ICOM. We're members of the American Alliance of Museums, AAM, the American Art Therapy Association, AATA, and we participate in events for these organizations every year. Our community is huge, and it incorporates everyone in the art world. And by the way, when we think of art, it's all of the arts. We have .art users in dance, in performance arts, in theater, sculpture, writing. It's all aspects of art, and our community represents individuals who are just starting out, as well as well-known and famous artists, luxury brands, museums, galleries. We're very excited about technology and what's happening in the technology world with AI and generative art. Many of those companies have adopted .art domains. We're excited because these technology advancements give many more people the tools to express themselves creatively in mediums that maybe they didn't have the skill set to do on their own. So we're very excited about that. A number of adopters of .art are in this space, like Pika.art is a growing text-to-video platform, raised a bunch of money. In the NFT space, we have literally thousands of registrations by NFT artists and NFT platforms who have adopted .art. So we have a lot of activity in the NFT space, which we're very excited about. And I mentioned galleries from all over the world. I was at Art Basel last weekend. 2 of our .art galleries were right next to each other, which is kind of fun. Nara Rosler from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and OMR from Mexico City, OMR.art. They were right next to each other at Art Basel. So we see .art users at all of the major art fairs, and art fairs themselves use .art. There are dozens of biennales and art fairs around the world that use a .art domain, from Malta to Belgium to China to Australia. And again, when they use .art, it creates exposure for the brand. More people learn that you can have a .art domain name, and that usage leads to great awareness. Many people using a .art domain are featured in the news frequently. Sharon Stone was recently featured in the New York Times. Marquise Brownlee, who's probably one of the top tech reviewers on YouTube, recently launched his own app called Panels.art. He's been promoting that heavily. And one of our younger .art adapters is a young boy from Germany named Lorenz, who's been featured on morning news shows and newspapers all over the world because he's about 3 years old and he's been selling his paintings for $7,000 a pop. And he's at Lorenz.art. And a lot of our marketing and content activities are revolving around shining a light on you. We want to profile and highlight what people are doing with their .art domains. We want to highlight the artists and businesses that use a .art domain. One of our adopters, pollinators.art, we did a TikTok about them. It has over 1 million views. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to promote you as part of the .art community. The art world's very interesting. In many professions, you can get certified, right? You know, if you're an architect, you can be certified. If you're an engineer, you can be certified. In the art world, there's no centralized certification body. You're an artist because you say you're an artist. It's self-declared. And having that .art domain is a great way to tell the world about your commitment to your creativity and your art. And of course, there are a lot of marketing and SEO benefits to doing so. When you're using a .art domain, you're going to stand out as someone involved in the art world. JaneDoe.com could literally be anyone. JaneDoe.art, of course, you're going to think about the artist Jane Doe. I'm not sure if there is an artist Jane Doe, but there should be. Same for businesses. Plaza.com could be any use of the word plaza. Plaza.art, you're immediately going to think of the art supply store Plaza. So there's a lot of benefits to using a .art domain as part of your digital brand. As I mentioned, you can easily use your .art domains with Web3. It's as simple as adding a text record to your DNS settings, and it's free. There's no additional cost, and you can use .art for Web3 while you're using it for Web2, email, and other uses. We also have a patented process called Who Is What Is. As you probably know, when you register a domain name, there are public Who Is records where it shows when the domain was created, when it expires, what registrar it's sitting at. And we actually got approval from ICANN and a US patent on a process to add additional fields to these public Who Is records based on the Getty Object ID standard. So with a .art domain, you could have a .art domain that's all about a particular work of art. And in the public Who Is records, you can have all of the provenance information, when it was made, what the materials are, et cetera. And all of that is stored securely in the public Who Is records. And that's kind of the basis of our digital twin technology, which is also incorporated into ID.ART, which we'll talk about in a few moments. There are a lot of different ways to use your .art domain. Of course, you could use it as your primary website address, but you can also point it to your Hug profile, which many artists do. You could point it to an Instagram page. And there are advantages to doing that because you're creating a tunnel right to your page. There's no search results that distract someone. And there are those SEO benefits. You can also create a separate website for your art activities like Porsche does. Porsche.art doesn't redirect to their .com website. Actually, Porsche.art is a separate website all about their Art of Dreams initiatives, which are art installations they've supported all over the world. So there's a lot of different ways you can use your .art domain, not just as your primary website. Like Hug, we want to support you. We want to present opportunities to you. And there's a lot of things that we do to build our brand and to help support you that you can get involved with in future open calls and other opportunities. We have a robust ambassador program. We have ambassadors all over the world, from China to India to Malaysia. And these are typically artists, curators, other people who are passionate about art, who present .art to their communities. They have the opportunity to attend art events in their region on our behalf. And we would welcome members of the Hug community to become ambassadors. As Debbie mentioned, we've been doing a series of Meet the .artist webinars. These are great opportunities for you to showcase your work and yourself. During International Artist Day in October, we had a fantastic 2.5-hour online conference with presentations from 6 amazing artists, including Chantel Martin and Phil Hansen. I encourage you to watch Phil's TED Talk. It's called Embrace the Shake, and it's a great story about how he overcame some challenges to become an extremely talented and successful artist. So we do these regularly, and this will be something that you can look for in open calls for an opportunity to be featured in one of our webinars like they have. We also do paid media from time to time, and again, these are opportunities where we can feature Hug and .art artists within these paid media opportunities. So again, keep an eye on open calls in the future for more of these opportunities to pop up. Something we're extremely proud of is our .art Odyssey publication. We started this last year. This is a magazine-sized publication. It's beautifully done. It's available in print and Kindle on Amazon. All of the content is either written by or about people from the .art community. So this will be a big opportunity for Hug members to become involved and be featured and contribute to this publication. Our first year, the topic was the future of art. Excuse me. This year's edition, which you see in front of you, we just launched in October, is success as the theme. And next year, thanks to you in large part, we think the theme will be inclusivity. We're really inspired by the inclusiverse that Hug has created. And I think next year's edition of the .art Odyssey, the theme will probably be inclusivity. And we hope to include many members from the Hug community in that publication. We also sponsor the Digital Innovation in Art Award every year. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. This is part of the GP Bullhound All-Stars event. That's kind of considered the Oscars of the tech world in Europe. And they have a big gala presentation every October in London. And we've sponsored this award. It's open to anyone who's doing anything interesting in the art and technology intersection. So we hope to see many applicants from the Hug community this year. Although we sponsored the award, we don't get involved in the judging. We put together a terrific panel of luminaries from the tech world, from the art world. We hope to have someone from the Hug world on the jury this year as well. Debbie, wink, wink. And this is a really big event. Past applicants have included some very successful businesses like Artsy and Verisart. This picture shows this year's winner, which was Artcentrica from Italy. So this is another opportunity we want to bring to the Hug community to apply for. And hopefully one of you may be one of the winners of this year's Digital Innovation in Art Award. I mentioned earlier, when you register a .art domain at get.art, you also get a free website builder. So this is a real easy and quick way to get your portfolio online and get established in just a few moments. Really easy to do. But the real future of our platform is ID.ART, as was mentioned earlier. ID.ART is really robust. It's a great way to manage your portfolio. We generate certificates of authenticity for each object uploaded. Each one of your works of art gets a dedicated web page at ID.ART with an automatically generated QR code and a link. And you can store all the information about that work of art, the story behind it, the provenance, sketches, files, videos, everything to tell the story of that art. Keep it in one place, and with that QR code, you can share it anywhere your art goes. You can also mint NFTs right from within the ID.ART platform. You can back up your provenance on blockchain. So we have blockchain IP protection built in. So there's a lot of really great features in .art that we will bring to you. And we're excited about that. This is Medina's .art portfolio, ID.ART portfolio. And really the idea behind ID.ART is really to help you share the story, the information behind a work of art, because it's all about context. That's where the value is created. You know, if I showed you a painting and said it was done by a student, it would have one value. If I showed you the same painting and said it was done by a student of a master, it would have a different value. If I told you a higher value, if I told you it was actually the master's protege who painted it, it would have an even higher value. And if I told you it was done by the master itself, the value would be even greater. The painting never changed. The story, the information is what changed and what created the value. And we really believe that every object's value is created by that story, by that information. And ID.ART was built to help you attach that information to each of your works, to each of your creations, and share it easily. It's the story, the history, the context that helps you create value for your work. I mentioned art therapy, and one of the things that I want to stress is, as artists, you're not just artists, you're healers. Art has this unbelievable therapeutic benefit. You can look at art not just as something that's decorative or entertaining, but you can also look at art as something that's healing, right? Art is a supplement. Art can help us solve many of the world's problems and reduce anxiety, reduce stress. There are doctors in the UK who are prescribing museum visits to their patients who are suffering from anxiety and depression. So you're not just an artist, you're a healer. And we really want to underscore the therapeutic benefits of art in all ways. So we're very excited about that. Debbie mentioned HugFest. We know you had a very successful event. We want to also create an expansion of that into an art event that we're calling formula.art, formula.art. And our goal here is to create something that really fills a gap that the current, art circuit of fairs and events doesn't satisfy, especially for digital and independent artists. You know, many of these major art fairs, the representation of digital art is very small. We're thinking of doing something that has a competition element to it. It could have some regional elements. And as we formulate this event, we want to involve you. We want to involve our community in helping us brainstorm, in telling us what features would work best for you at an art fair or an art competition. So we really want to involve the community in helping us create this event, Formula Art. So look forward to learning more about it. Look forward to being invited to brainstorming sessions, taking surveys, and really working with us to help formulate pun intended, a formula art event that serves you best and really grows the opportunities for the art community. Our hugs to the hug community. Thank you, Ovi, for that line. Our hugs to the hug community. Because you're joining the .art community, we want to welcome you with some gifts, some hugs. So everyone in the hug community is going to get a free standard .art domain that you can use. And as we mentioned, it comes with a free website builder if you want to use that. Also, you'll get a code for 70% off a premium domain plus an additional $20 off. So our premium names start at $70. So if you were to get a $70 premium domain with the discount plus the $20 off, it would actually only be $1. And of course, you could apply that discount to other premium names as well. And I just talked a bit about ID.ART, and we want to give you the opportunity to take full advantage of it. So every Hug community member will get a 1-year free pro account at ID.ART. So with the pro account, you have access to all the features. You have an unlimited number of artworks that you can upload into your portfolio. So look for that. And also there'll be many more opportunities and many more things coming to you from the .art community. So please stay tuned. So in terms of next steps, watch your email, because in the next day or two, you'll be getting email with a number of codes. You'll get that code for the free standard domain. You'll get that code for the 70% off plus $20 off a premium domain. Those are both at get.art. Then you'll also get a special code for a 1-year free pro account at ID.art. And you can use all of those codes yourself, or you can give them away as gifts. Giving a domain name and a website is actually a great gift. I actually did this last year for my mother and my grandson. My 10-year-old grandson and my 88-year-old mother are both artists who love to draw. I got them each their .art domain. I uploaded some of their artwork to the free website builder, and I gifted them their own website. And while my mom, she's a little bit nervous about having her stuff online, I can assure you that my 10-year-old grandson has been bragging to all of his friends that he has his own website, that he has his art online. So if you don't use the codes yourself, or you don't use all of them, give them as gifts. It's a great thing to do, especially now as we go into the year-end holidays. So please follow us on social media. We'll continue to support the Hug accounts, but follow our .art accounts. If you have any questions or need any help, I'm always available. You can email me at jeff@art.art. You can email Rachel at rachel@art.art. You can email our support team who's ready to help you. We couldn't be more excited about this combination, about inviting all of the Hug team and the Hug members into the .art family. And we really look forward to next year being a spectacular year of growth and opportunity for us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for that warm welcome. And so I'm just so grateful for you and the .art team for being here. So thank you.
Thank you.
As Jeff mentioned, there's a lot of incredible benefits. And when there are a lot of incredible benefits, one of the things that we both share is really learning from other artists, how they incorporate those benefits into their practice. So I'm going to bring up to the stage a few incredible artists to discuss with them why they're excited about this acquisition, and most importantly, how are they incorporating .art into their practice. So without further ado, let me bring up some wonderful artists to join me. We got Rob, we have Nate. Welcome, gentlemen. So nice to see you.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
So Rob, I'm going to start with you. I would love to know a little bit about your arts practice. And then most importantly, how do you incorporate .art into your practice, and why has it benefited you?
Well, thank you again so much for having me. And it's an awesome question. I was really aligned with this idea of .art being a point of therapy and healing for the world. And one of the ways I started making artwork was I just saw that it made people feel good. When I would gift people sketches, comics, funny notes, greeting cards. And so my practice has evolved into something where the pieces that I create are invitations for other people to color them in. So for example, a lot of the big murals that I create are like giant coloring books for the community to come and color in together. And that way, the neighborhoods that I work in get a sense of the ownership and experience. And like what Jeff said, the story is creating the value. So the wall is now this artifact that's been created by several people and they live in that neighborhood too. So when they walk by, I think they get a sense of pride and ownership. And again, this inclusivity that you guys are talking about is a really important component for artwork. And you see that when you have some sort of practice or artistic experience or idea, it really does bring people together in a wholesome and unifying way.
That's incredible, Rob, particularly around the notion of co-creation. I'm really thinking a lot about that. And so how have you used .art in your practice, and what are some of the things that excite you about what .art offers?
Well, I really love the idea that it's a platform that, I mean, it says exactly what it is. I was looking for a website domain name, and as a joke almost, I was like, let me enter .art to see, because I hadn't known about .art until this like random urge to like, all right, let me just put my name and then .art, and that would explain my website perfectly. So I really think that, like, especially in a evolving digital world, to have a tag at the end is really good for marketing purposes. It's really good for memorization, and it makes your website stand out from a typical .com tag.
Yeah, such incredible advice, Rob. I want to go to you, Nate. Tell us a little bit about your practice and what excites you about .art. Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. It might be your microphone.
I had my.
You did it. I got you. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. I was trying not to make noise while Rob was.
I appreciate that.
But then, then I had like. Anyways, my art practice. Currently I've been doing I've been drawing like every day, just these series of pieces, and that I kind of find is just sort of just keeping momentum, and I don't know, always being out there. And at some points it kind of evolved into the collaborative thing too, where I was doing these blob shapes, and I would put out the blank blobs, inviting people to participate with that too. And got some amazing stuff back doing that. So that's what I've been doing lately. I've been sort of kind of like figuring out what I want to put out into the world aside from that. But yeah, I'm working on one right now as we were talking. I've been doing the alphabet, so I'm up to the letter W. This is a walrus warrior wearing whitey tights.
So cool.
Thank you. And then as far as .art domains, I think the same as Rob. Like I kind of, I didn't realize there's like a whole org that had sprung up to support the domains. Like, I didn't realize it was, a thing unto itself aside from just just another kind of domain you can grab. And I one of my white whales has been getting NateBear.com, and it like, I think, I like every year I like looking like, is it going to expire? And then like whoever has it, renews. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars or trying to know who the random person is. Like, I'm sure I can find somebody that can make that happen. But .art kind of became my default, because before that I was doing NateBearArt.com, and that kind of just like, whenever I'm putting my URL and some stickers and stuff, like I'll just one less set of words.
Yeah.
This is .art on there somewhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just makes it easier. It's like, NateBear.art, and then I've also been going under the moniker Bear Brains, and I just have both of them go to the same website, the same portfolio. And now that I know that you can also do the ENS, I'm gonna have to change my X profile, because for the last since I joined NFT space 3 years ago, that's been I'm at NateBear. I don't know how I got that at NateBear on there, but some guy just left it and I grabbed it a few years ago. But since a lot of people know me as Bear Brains, I kind of have my screen is bearbrains.eth, and that lets people know that I'm in the NFT art scene and all stuff. But I might change that to .art. That way people know that I'm an artist, not just a collector or some other person NFT.
Oh, I really love that. You know, one of the things I love about talking with artists is I always learn something new. So here are the 3 things I learned from just talking with both of you in the last 5 minutes. One is .art is such an incredible way to market oneself as an artist and to differentiate yourself in a place where it's hard to figure out, because most of us are multi-hyphenate, to really claim oneself. I'm an artist. This is what I do. I'm already like, that's really awesome. Number 2, I was thinking about you, Rob, which is co-creation and the idea of being in community and leaving a remnant, leaving something to leave behind. And of course, you, Nate, when you were talking about this idea of having a daily practice and not judging it, allowing it to turn into whatever it turns into. And as Rob does, respond with the community. And so I'm just so grateful both of you exist in this community. It gives me a lot of hope, and it makes me excited, as I'm a hug artist as well myself, joining this community and getting my Littig.art. So thank you both for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Do follow these 2. They're really incredible artists. This is both of them are people on the Hug team we followed for a long time. Yeah, it's somewhere over here. So we appreciate you both. And right now I'm going to take them off the stage for the moment. And I'm going to use this opportunity for the next 5 minutes to answer 3 questions. So I'm going to bring up Debbie for the first question. Debbie, there was a great question about, would open calls be available via .art the same way as it was in Hug? Can you answer that a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're going to start slowly ramping up some of the open calls. I'll stay tuned. Honestly, probably even in the next coming weeks or so, we want everybody to take advantage of registering their .art domain. So if you don't already have a .art domain, there is no better time than to do so. I think lots of opportunities, like Jeff had already mentioned, whether it is getting featured in blogs. I know we had a really popular grants program that we've been running over the past couple of years. That might change a little bit in terms of how it looks like, but I would also keep an eye out for something similar. So all this to say that there will still be open calls. The way that you've been used to submitting will remain the same. I'm excited to see what else comes. We are in the process, obviously, of connecting all of our great partners. I saw in the chat Brooklyn Art Cave, and I know some other incredible gallery partners that we've worked with. So we're excited to bring them. It is the holidays after all, so it might be a little bit slower during this time. So bear with us during this transition. But I would most definitely keep an eye out for them to be gradually added and be something that all of us are used to.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to bring up Jeff for 2 more questions. So Jeff, individuals would love to know how to be an ambassador, and who do they connect with?
Yeah, that's a great question, Michael, and thank you for whoever is asking. At our website at art.art, there's a link there to the ambassador program where you can fill out a form, or you can just email me at jeff@art.art, and I'll be happy to respond with the additional information. But we welcome anyone who's interested in becoming an ambassador. We're actually going to be revamping and enhancing our ambassador program next year in Q1 to make it even more attractive. So I'd love to hear from anyone who's interested in becoming an ambassador.
Amazing. And one simple last question is, for folks that have existing .art domains, how do redemptions work for those people?
How do redemptions of, so you can use it for a second. Just because you have one .art domain doesn't mean you can't have more.
Yeah.
Nate just told us he's got NateBear.art and BearBrains.art. So you can certainly use it for an additional domain. And as I mentioned before, you could also give that code to someone to use as a gift. And then, of course, there's the opportunity to take advantage of the pro account at ID.ART. And by the way, you can attach a .art domain to your ID.ART profile, but it's not required. So you don't have to have a .art domain to start using ID.ART.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for those answers, and thank you for everything that you do. So thank you. So friends, I'm actually going to, with a sense of bittersweetness, bring this to a close. And so, as we always have done in any hug room, we always end with gratitude. And so take a moment, if you're listening, and just ask yourself, what are you grateful for in this moment? And as you do so, maybe you can drop it in the chat. I think for myself, I'll speak upon all the people that I stand on the shoulders of, which are the Hug team. Just how grateful we are for you, for being here, for being on this journey, for having courage to go into the unknown, which is emerging technology, and continue to figure out what it means to be an artist in this culture. And now to do it alongside .art, which is really claiming in this digital world what it means to be an artist, which is to claim yourself, to say michaellittig.art or debbiesoon.art or robanderson.art. That's a really, really incredible thing to do. So thank you for that. And most importantly, next steps. You're going to get an email with some information, and that will be your next steps to join .art. And Debbie's here, so I'm going to let Debbie have the last word.
Yeah, I actually wanted to introduce one more guest that we had just to hear from for a little bit, and that is Jenny from One Love Art DAO. I'm going to bring her up also because just to provide a little different perspective, and also she is such a powerhouse. I don't know if any one of you had the opportunity to attend the One Love Art DAO show in Wynwood last week. It was absolutely incredible, hands down the best thing that I attended in Art Basel last week. And as you know, there are so many different events, so that is off the highest praise, and I don't say that lightly. But Jenny, I just wanted to hear a little bit about your experience. We spoke obviously to Nate and Rob, I guess about from their perspective as an individual artist, and obviously you're an artist as well. But I would love to kind of hear your experience kind of running an artist collective and how having like a .art domain as in terms of representing your identity, and obviously how it's been for you this entire journey with Hug.
Well, I mean, so Hug and Love just go together. It seemed like synergy from the very beginning. Many of the artists in One Love Art DAO are members of the Hug. And so whenever we were planning any kind of exhibitions, whether it was billboards in Times Square, IRL events, really anything that had to do with empowering and showcasing our artists, we would go directly to the Hug, because there was no team that supported us like our Hug sisters, Laura and Tina, Debbie, Randi. Like, they just really facilitated ease, like as far as communicating with the artists, follow up with the artists. And so it was very amazing, to be honest with you, to have Debbie come through. And I'm honestly moved and touched by what you just said about the exhibition in Miami, because it was a labor of love, and so many One Love ex-Hug artists had physical paintings up. We had a larger than life mural. We had digital art. 5 of the artists in that digital showcase were hand selected from the Hug. So it just has always been an amazing partnership of support. And we are very much looking forward to working with the .art team in that same way. And so for us, having a collective landing page on .art is going to be instrumental as we continue to grow as a community, to have our artists featured and showcased. And so, yeah, we're excited for this new chapter for sure. And thank you again for coming. It was so meaningful to the artists to have you there.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. And I think one thing that I would just add to that as well, I know I brought everybody through kind of the history of Hug, if you will, from like 2022. And definitely on day one, it was very kind of focused on digital artists, right? We kind of started in some ways, had our origins in kind of the Web3 and NFT space. But over time, obviously, we realized that there were so many artists who didn't wake up one morning because of NFTs and then became an artist. So many of these artists have been pursuing their crafts for years, for some even decades. And I think what you've done at One Love Art DAO has just been so incredible, because we all got the opportunity to experience what art could be and is in different types of medium, from digital, mixed media, and just, again, feeling all of that. And so, we're really excited for this next chapter, I think both for us, but also for you. And we can't wait to see where 2025 takes all of us.
Yes, indeed.
Michael, I'll hand it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, team. Thank you so much. So without further ado, we're going to sign off here. And so have a wonderful, wonderful day, and check your email, and we'll be in touch. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.